What's going on, everybody? Mikal Bridges tells Tom Thibodeau to play the bench more. Now, Tom Thibodeau is denying those comments. A lot of stuff to talk about. We got LV live joining the show again. LV, what's going on? Where do we even start? Man.
Drama in paradise, right? Drama in paradise, right? First is the Jalen Brunson sprains his ankle, and now look at this, right? Oh man, this is not looking good on either ends. Hopefully, we can get this cleared up and get ready for the playoffs, man. No more drama, as Mary J. Blige says, right? No more drama.
All right, a lot of places where we could go to this. So first of all, it came out from Stefan Bondi that Mikal Bridges pretty much went up to Tom Thibodeau and said, look, man, we're playing a lot of minutes. The starters are playing a lot of minutes. He even mentioned in this story that it's affecting their defense. Their shots are, short. I mean, he mentioned a lot of stuff in this story. And then he mentions Landry Shamit's name. And then, all of Knicks Nation kind of went up in flames. Like, there's a lot of ways we can go with this, LV. It's like, first, Mikal Bridges going public with this means that these conversations have been happening behind closed doors for a while now, I think. And he's been vocal, but now he's speaking directly to the media. So it's clear Mikal has been saying what others have been thinking and in the locker room. He's not just speaking for himself. I think he's representing a lot of people in that locker room, whether it's Shamit or the bench or campaign, his boys, right? So first and foremost, I guess what do you think? What do you think that says about that dynamic in the locker room? Do you think Mikal is the only one feeling that way? Because a lot of fans, Minute Police, have been feeling this way about Tom Thibodeau, and he's been catching heat in the media recently. Channing Frye comments, Vince Carter comments. I mean, you can go down the list. Everyone has been commenting about Tom Thibodeau with the playing time. What do you say?
Yeah, man. Once again, perfect timing, right? This is like coming off of the Jalen Brunson stuff. This is like right in the heat of everything. The playoffs are right around the corner, and here we go, right? New York City drama. I think this has been something that's been like a dark cloud over Tibbs for the longest now, right? For his whole career. Ever since this goes back to the Derrick Rose piece, right? A lot of people felt he's the reason that Derrick Rose got hurt because of the minutes, right? So this is like a dark cloud that's kind of followed him. And I mean, listen, man, hearing Mikal speak, I can't really get mad at a guy that's kind of been, self-labeled, not by himself, but by the league, the league Iron Man, right? He has never missed a game. He hasn't missed a game this year, right? He's second in the league in minutes. Josh Hart is ahead of him in 37 minutes. I mean, these guys are playing a lot of hoops. And it's not just him. We have said it at fans. Why don't you play campaign more? Why don't you play Shamit more? Hey, why don't you give Dadier some minutes? Why not? We can't see Akaporte some more. Mitch is down. Why aren't you playing him, right? I mean, this goes on. Even remember, that was that big thing going on with KG. Remember KG and Paul Pierce had that big segment where they were talking about this whole thing. And so this is something that I think has followed him. The fact that Mikal Bridges is coming out and speaking on it, obviously he feels comfortable enough that him and Tibbs had a conversation, and he felt it was okay, I guess, to talk about it as if it's not really a big deal, right? He seemed pretty open about it. He gave details, and when I look and I reread it, what Stephen Bondi reported, it's pretty detailed, and so
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't sound like someone that's making it up. It doesn't sound like someone that's fabricating a story. It sounds like someone that's giving you blow for blow of a conversation that he had with his coach and the things that have been transpiring. I mean, this is just the truth. The playoffs are running around the corner. So if you think these guys are happy with playing 38 minutes a night and the playoffs are right around the corner and they got the third seed in the East, it makes no sense. I don't agree with that. I don't think any of these guys are happy with that. And I like the fact that he named like a guy like Landry Shamet, because they're probably saying, hey, look, Landry's doing all right. He had 13 points the other day. I think he can play better. Tibbs, maybe give him more minutes. And it was you that stated it. I was here when we did this show. You said Campaign hasn't played in a week. Why isn't Campaign playing?
Yeah.
Give Brunson some time. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know, man. I think when there's smoke, there's fire. And I know Tibbs is trying to cover it up, but I think this is pretty valid in what Mikal Bridges is saying.
In the story, it says Bridges said Thibodeau was receptive, but sometimes I think he just gets in his ways. That is in the story. So unless Steph Bondy is just completely lying and interviewed, I don't know who he interviewed, thought he was interviewing Mikal Bridges, which I doubt. Steph Bondy's really respected in the NBA circles. Thibodeau is now saying that this conversation never happened. And going back to the Mikal comments, I think this is a passive aggressive masterclass, LV. I mean, I think Mikal's approach here is a perfect example of, a passive aggressive leadership. He didn't flat out say, I want to play less, but he's making it clear, like, play these guys more. Let's see what they can do. So I think, look, Mikal's been to the finals, right? And I was thinking about this. I'm like, Knicks traded all those picks for Mikal. He's coming in here. Obviously, he doesn't look like he's having fun lately, soaking after the game, even though they lost. I think he's pretty much saying, "Look, man, I'm the captain now, bro." Not like in the sense of like Jalen Brunson captain, but look, you need me. You traded all these picks for me. The only way for this to work is if you utilize the bench. You play the guys off the bench, because playing us 40-plus minutes a night, Mikal's in the top 5. I think Brunson was, before he got hurt, he was in the top 5 in total minutes. Hart was up there. OG Anunoby was up there. So this is fascinating, honestly, because the twist is now Thibs is denying it. That's the twist.
And I think that's a crock of BS, man. I think why would this guy come out and lie, man? So Tibbs coming out and just denying that didn't happen. Why does he say that maybe that Mikal might have misspoke? It didn't. That's not really how the conversation went. That makes more sense than just saying that never happened.
Yeah.
Right. Where is he getting it from? So he's just making this up. He's just being. So yeah. I can see where you say the passive aggressive thing to try to look for getting other guys more minutes, like his boy Cam, who we know he's close to. Cool. But to say that this never happened, I think that's a far reach, man. I mean, we're not. Come on, something definitely happened. A conversation was had, and I think that listen, man, Tibbs needs to own up to it. I mean, own up to the conversation, own up to everything that's pretty much going forward with this, because it is what it is. It's out there now, and I think people are pretty much aware that this was definitely something that did happen.
Appreciate every single one of you hopping in here. Knicks have a game soon. LV and I just chopping it up about these Mikal Bridges comments. We see all of you in the chat. Nostalgic says he told Bondy everything. Yuri in the chat. What's going on? Appreciate every single one of you. Ricardo says Thibs can't blow this off. He's got to take some responsibility for minutes management. Everywhere Thibs has coached, it is the same old story. Mikal Bridges, LV, I think, is realizing this is all we got, man, because you can't really make any more trades. You traded all your picks. I think you only have one tradable first-round pick in the next 3 years. And you open up the cupboard, and it's like, what do you have left to improve your team? This is the core. And I know it's only year one, so I think what Mikal is kind of saying is, look, if you play the rookies more, like I don't even know who he's talking about. He mentioned Shamet. But you can throw in Kolek in there. They've just started to play Huck Porty more.
Right.
And he went down with an injury. Is he talking about Daddy? I don't know.
Right.
We don't know. Is he talking about Kolek? I don't know. He's just saying, look, if you give these guys opportunities, he's looking around the league. He's seeing all these teams play all of these players. He's realizing, look, this is all we got. So it's like, but unless Tom Thibodeau finds some religion, which I don't think is going to happen, this is it, man. I mean, Thibs is on the hot seat, in my opinion. And I think this kind of took the pressure off Mikal, because he was feeling it, man. These last few weeks, he was feeling it from fans, from media. And this kind of put the pressure towards Tom Thibodeau, which is why currently, as we speak, I'll try to pull up the comments, but it seems like he's very animated about this stuff, because you could tell he's pissed off.
Yeah. I agree. He's pissed off because I think maybe he felt that there was that shouldn't have been talked about and shouldn't have been stated. Maybe he felt that should have been in-house. He should have kept it in-house. But maybe Mikal felt like it was a regular conversation. Why should it, right? So I think it's just a communication thing between them two, as to what he should have spoke on and what he shouldn't have spoke on. It is what it is. It's out there now. But I think, to your point, I think Tibbs is on a hot seat. And I think he's on a hot seat because, this is the team they assembled for him. This is the players he wanted, and this is who he got. And so now, you know, you got to make this work. You went out there, you drafted Dottier, you drafted Kolick, you drafted Akaporte. These guys have hardly seen the court. Akaporte just started seeing the court. So, when this is your team and this is what you have, you got to play guys. Tibbs doesn't play guys. He talked about Shamet and how great, we got to get Shamet back and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Shamet, he barely sees like 10 minutes a night. Regardless of if he plays well one night, plays bad another night, still, he's got to get those minutes. We talked about this before, Ed. There's no backup point guard, so why doesn't Campaign get more minutes? If you don't want to play him, then play Kolick. I mean, this is simple. We didn't have a center, so why weren't you playing Akaporte? You barely played Sims, so you throwing Precious out there. This is before Precious even came back. This is when he, so once again, Tibbs is all over the place with these minutes. But once again, these guys are playing playoff minutes in December against the Wizards. It made no sense. There were times when these guys will be in the game 40-plus minutes. They'll be up by 20. It's 5 minutes left in the game. They're still out there. You're like, Tibbs, you got to pull these guys. What are you doing? I mean, this is what's been going on. This is not something that Mikal is just making up. This is not something that guys in the league are just making up. This is, like the guy said earlier, this is something that's followed Tibbs throughout his career. This is the dark cloud that's over him. It is. Yeah. And the reality is that the playoffs are around the corner. These guys can't be burnt out by the time they get to the playoffs because you still want to play these guys 40-something minutes. And to your point, Ant, which I'm glad you stated, these guys are probably looking at the rest of the league. They're looking at other teams playing 35 minutes, 32 minutes. Spider Mitchell is only playing like 30-something minutes over there out there, like low 30s with Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So why is that? So, and there's times they don't even need to play like 38 minutes. Like, Ant, we've spoke on here before. You've even said Kolick can't get 10 minutes. Dottier can't get 12 minutes. You just can't put them out there, Tibbs, to see what they could do.
Yeah.
And, and to your point, Mikal's been to the finals. So he knows how hard that journey is and how hard it is to win, 16 games you got to win to make it to the finals. Mm-hmm. So you got to have, it's not even so much the skill set. It's the skill of being able to keep your body healthy, right? Who's the healthiest down the road? That's all that matters. And that's what's going to help you get to the mountaintop, man, is who can pretty much persevere through that. Not even your skills, man, but who's the healthiest team.
Well said. Just in case you guys are just joining us, we're reacting to the Mikal Bridges comments. Obviously now, Tom Thibodeau, this is from James Edward. He says, we never had a conversation about it. The facts are the facts. Jalen is 20th or 21st in average minutes. Cat is below that. Your wings play more. They're matched up against primary players. I think this is kind of like damage control from Thibs. I think that this conversation was had and maybe Thibs didn't think too much of it and it got out, and now Thibodeau is kind of feeling it a little bit because, look, Tom Thibodeau hasn't really sniffed an NBA Finals, right? Mikal Bridges has been there, done that. He's producing an NBA Finals. He knows what it takes. Now, they didn't win an NBA championship. So I think this is kind of like, do you think this is like the beginning of the end for Tom Thibodeau? I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy here because, we still got a lot of season left and we still got the playoffs and everything to get it going and everything. But I just think, look, what's so crazy to me, LV, is last year Jalen Brunson loved playing every single minute. He talked about it in the media. They had Tom Thibodeau's back. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, all of them spoke very highly about Tom Thibodeau, all of them. And then you make the trade for Mikal, and then on March 12th, he pretty much insinuates what everyone has been saying in the media. First of all, you gave the media fire. Now they have fuel. You just fuel them even more because they've already been talking about this.
Yeah.
So now you bring in a Nova guy who kind of doesn't really have the same language as Brunson, Dante, and Hart have. But it's like he's speaking kind of the truth. So that tells me there's kind of like something going on in that locker room, I think.
Absolutely. 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 And
Yeah.
look, man, there's something going on. There's something brewing, right? And I know you mentioned earlier that this could be the end for Tom Thibodeau. Is that, could this mean that? I wouldn't be surprised of that if that is the case. This is the team, guys. I want everybody to pay attention in the chat and anybody who's here on a replay gang. This is the team.
Yep.
They did not give up all those picks to not re-sign Mikal. Mikal's coming back, man. They did not make that move for Cat to go out and just trade him for Giannis. Like that's not happening. All right, guys, get out of space. Like this is the team. And so Leon and those guys, they may try to make other moves this summer somewhat, but this is the squad. This is the crew. This is who they want. So Tibbs has got to make it work with these guys. And everybody has watched this season and seen certain things where Tibbs is dropping the ball here. And I've even mentioned it on my show. I've even mentioned it here. People have gotten on Mikal and stuff like that. To me, I said it here. I said it's partially him and it's partially the coach. You got to find ways to get this guy going. You know what I mean? They gave up 5 picks for him. It ain't his job. This is they give him $10 million to coach these guys. If that's the case, roll the ball out there. You leave and let them coach themselves. You got to be able to pay attention to matchups. You got to be able to pay attention to certain things. If Mikal doesn't have it going, okay, cool. Let me figure out a way to get him going. Let me maybe have him play more minutes with that second unit to where he could be the primary guy. Like I said before, the court shrinks with Brunson. Now the court is opening up. Mikal's been playing better these last 2 games. He's been playing better. So once again, but I shouldn't have to say that, and you shouldn't have to say that. He's getting paid $10 million a year to identify that, right? So these are just little things, and we've even said it. Why are they playing all these minutes against Charlotte? Why are they playing all these minutes against? Why aren't you playing guys? Why is Akaporte not really playing? Like, this is bigger than just the minutes thing. This is just managing a team, and so I'm not surprised that things are starting to leak out. I'm not surprised by that. Mikal is no bum. He's no scrub in this league. He's not a guy that just sits at the end of the bench. He's averaging 17 points a game in this league. He's been to the finals. He's considered one of the better wings in this league. So I'm going to listen to him, to a guy that's been playing every single game for his whole career. I think he can identify when, maybe I'm playing a little bit more. Maybe why don't you give Shaman a little bit more minutes? Why don't you give maybe Dottier a little bit more minutes? Why don't you try this out, Tibbs? And he mentioned that he spoke to him about it, and he said that Tibbs can be what? Can kind of be stuck in his ways, right? And then he said that, and remember, he stated to Stephen Bondi, yo, let Shamet stay in a little bit longer. He's playing good, right? Didn't he state that?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. So if we can identify if somebody's cooking and you're just yanking them, it makes no sense, Tibbs. Why are you doing that? And you even said it too, and we spoke. Why are you not keeping Deuce in longer? Why did you put Josh Hart back in the game when Deuce was playing well and Josh Hart was playing like hot garbage? Why did you do that? So once again, there's many layers to this, Ant, and I'm glad you stated the fuel to the fire, because that's what this was. This lit a match to the fuel that was already going, and now this is about to explode, in my opinion.
And now you have it that Tom Thibodeau, who's lying here? Like, who's lying here? And to me, I'm pointing the finger at Thibs. I'm pointing the finger at Thibs because what Mikal has said in this article is exactly what we've all said for years, right? And I think Thibs got a hold of it. Thibs got wind of it. Somebody told Thibs. And did he have a conversation with Mikal? I don't know. But right now, Tom Thibodeau is denying everything. The facts are the facts. He's laying out stats. Jalen is 20th or 21st in average minutes. Cat is below that. Then he says your wings play more. They're matched up against primary players. So that comment right there is he like, look, man, you got to play more. So I don't know. What a mess this is, guy. What a mess, because either Thibs is lying or Mikal is lying. Thibs just trying to clean this up. I just think it's a mess. It's unnecessary. You know what? It's unnecessary drama, LV. Right. It's unnecessary drama right now because you're still in a great spot in the East. You're third. You got 18 games left. You got the Portland Trail Blazers tonight. You're not moving from 3 the Bucks keep losing. You're
Right.
ahead of them, and I just think everything Mikal said laid out in that article. Like Thibs is stuck in his own ways. He gets antsy in the second half. He changes his rotations, and I just think everyone's gonna side with Mikal here. But it's whether or not you think he's look. I've heard people call him soft for this, LV. I've heard people call him like this should have stayed in the locker room, and a part of me agrees with that. A part of me agrees like you do not take this to the media. But this tells me Mikal is fragile, man. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line,
Mm-hmm.
all the heat was on Mikal. Everyone's talking about Mikal needs to do this. Mikal needs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's not his fault that they traded 5 first-round picks for him. So I think he kind of shifted everything. Like, look, man, he mentioned in the article, there's a reason why we're tired. There's a reason why we are giving up all these points on defense. He's coming. It's like an excuse, but it's what everyone has been saying. So I just think the finger is being pointed at Tom Thibodeau right now, and he's feeling it right now. All the media in Portland are saying that he's very animated in his responses, and I don't know what comes of this. Good, bad. I hope it's good, but either way, it's just unnecessary drama. But it's what everyone has been thinking, and it's what everyone has been saying. And I don't think Tom Thibodeau changes. Does he find religion?
Right. Right.
Does he all of a sudden magically change his ways? Does he play the bench? I want to know when did this conversation when did they have this conversation? If they had
when
such
did it
conversation,
happen? Right.
Because
right. When did it happen?
I think they had this conversation. Look, this is Mikal Bridges minutes per game by month. 37 in October, 38.4 in November, 40 in December, 36 in January, 35 in February, 36 in March. So his minutes have been decreasing. And I've noticed that, I think it was last month when Tom Thibodeau started to take Bridges out at the 6-minute mark. He started to take him out as one of the first substitutions. And I mentioned it in the post game to the podcast. And then I don't know if that's when that conversation was had, but either way, this coach is not going to change who he is. And you either like it, you hate it, and Mikal is speaking for, 2 or 3 people in that locker room? And Shaman actually has been playing well, so maybe Mikal's like, look, you see that? Shaman's been playing well. See? Play him. I don't know what comes of this, LV. It's unnecessary drama. It's unnecessary.
Yeah,
drama
it's unnecessary drama, man. Once again, man, I think that I think it's tough, man. I think it's tough. It's hard for me to kind of get on Mikal about this because he's the whole soft thing. I mean, he plays every game. He doesn't complain. He goes out there and he plays hard. Like he's been an Iron Man in this league
every
forever.
Game.
So
Every game.
that's what I'm saying. So if it's anybody that could talk, it's him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I saw the minutes right before we came over. Josh Hart is leading the league in minutes. He's got bad knees. He's got 37.9 minutes. He's not a wing.
He played 46 minutes versus the Clippers.
Right.
And
so he leads the league in minutes. You know who's number 2? Mikal is number 2. So I think these
Mikal's
guys,
number 1.
Oh, he's number 1. Okay, he's number 1.
So you have the NBA minutes per game leader in minutes per game and total minutes speaking on this. So to me, that's big, man. That's big time.
There you go. So should we? He's got like a leg to stand on here because what he's doing. So you got to kind of right.
He's
So
number 1.
right. So you got to ask questions like, okay, if anybody should speak, it should be him. I mean, he's got you know what I mean? Because then you can't get mad if you're only playing like 5 minutes a game, like what happened to Precious the other night, right? So that's cool. But even with that, we were up by like 15-20. I think Precious should have got more minutes. You don't need Towns out there the whole time. We were blowing them out. So it's little things like that. And I think that, listen, man, look, you nailed it. Look, you think these guys aren't looking around the league, seeing what everyone else is doing? You see what Boston is doing. You see what Cleveland's doing. You see what OKC is doing. They're playing their young guys. All these guys are playing their young guys. So what's the excuse? There is no excuse. SGA's not playing what these guys are playing. He's not. He's the MVP. So there's no excuse. So these guys take a look around. It's a different time, man. It's a different day. This is not the days of Patrick Ewing when Tibbs was on that bench with Van Gundy. These aren't these times when these guys are playing 40-plus minutes. everybody uses their young guys and they try to maintain their stars to get ready for the playoffs. Maybe that's Mikal, to your point, in a passive, aggressive way, trying to nudge the coach, like, hey, man, maybe you should kind of take a look at what the other dude is doing. Because, yo, man, we got the playoffs right around the corner. JB is down. We're going to need everybody. So why not, play Shamit and, give these guys some time. We're going to need them in the playoffs in case someone gets hurt. You don't want to just throw guys out there that have no experience because now guys got hurt. You shouldn't do that. And once again, maybe that's to what Mikal has been through with the Suns, things that he's learned. So once again, people calling him soft. You can't call him soft. He comes to play every night. He's not sitting out because he's got a hang toenail. He doesn't do that. He plays all the time. So my thing is that it's valid what he's saying. And I got one better, Ann. You ready? It's not just what he's saying. It's what everybody is saying outside of that locker room, across the league, in the media, outside of New York media. Everybody says the same thing about Tibbs. So everybody can't be lying, man.
Agree. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Obviously, Knicks play soon. We got Wiz in the chat says, salute LV. Everyone who called out the minutes police should apologize. Wiz, what's going on? You don't salute me? What's going on, Wiz? Appreciate you, Wiz. Appreciate you, Wiz. Knicks 100 GM says, this Rover says, sub Wiz. I'm not even going to read that comment. I got all these comments in here. Trying to get a good one. Nostalgia says Thibs said it never happened, and people are agreeing with Mikal Bridges in the chat. But look, this is all we got, guys. This is our team, right? And my question to a lot of you and ULV is like, is this Knicks team a better team with a different coach? Are we closer to win a championship with a different coach? Because Thibs has never been to an NBA Finals. Don't think he's ever been to a Eastern Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken. And he's had this stigma forever. Like you said, when Derrick Rose hurt his knee, went down, tore his ACL, when a lot of people thought that he should not have even been in the game, that has been following Tom Thibodeau forever. And it's 2025 and it still has been following Tom Thibodeau. And this is the first player who has said something in the media. First active Knick who has been on the team, because everyone has seemed like, look, we don't practice. We barely practice. Thibs treats us right behind the scenes. We come in, we play a lot of minutes, but we barely practice. So Mikal was feeling it. And at the end of the day, it's like, who do you trust? And me, I trust Kel. I think Thibs is trying to do some damage control here, right here in the media. And that's pretty much all she wrote on that. But LV, Tom Thibodeau's seat is getting warmer. It is getting warmer.
Yeah, it is. I put it to like this. He better make it out the second round this year.
Yeah.
He better make it out the second round this year. If he doesn't make it out the second round, his seat is going to be like, not even scorching. It's going to be like hot lava, man. It's going to be like hot lava he's sitting on. That's how hot it's going to be, because this is the squad. We can't continue to keep trading everybody just to get somebody in here perfect for Tibbs. Like, we can't continue. We done traded everybody. And then I'm seeing also, too, everyone's talking about, Devin Booker's two spots is possibly the Knicks, and we're not getting Devin Booker. Like, that's not happening. We're going to have to give up a lot to get Devin Booker. That's not happening. We're not getting Giannis. So stop. Are we trading OG Anunoby? OG Anunoby? No, man. It's not happening. It's not happening. So everyone needs to relax and chill out. This is the squad. We're going to get somebody on the bench that could, help. I don't think Mitch is going anywhere. I think Mitch has proven that he still could be a good backup center. So I think Mitch isn't going anywhere. So we're going to add a couple more pieces on the bench. I think you got to really go in the draft. That's where you're going to have to get. That's why this thing is the CBA is important, because it's forcing you to go in the draft and really kind of find gems and develop these guys. Everybody saw Dottier. Dottier's big. He's got good size. He's about 6'8", 6'9". You got to develop this guy. You got to develop him. Everybody talks about Kolek, right? I love Kolek. We got to develop him, right? So my thing is that you got guys there. You got pieces. These are the guys you drafted. Maybe draft some other people. Maybe get somebody, but we don't have much. And like you said, we don't really have much to deal with. This is the squad going forward. So what I think, my honest opinion, I think Thibodeau has reached his ceiling, man. I don't know if he could. He hasn't proven that he can unlock these guys to get to the next level. And the reason why I say that is because of the losses to Boston, what that looked like, and to Cleveland, and it just did not look good. So I don't know if he can unlock these guys. And I think you're going to need somebody in here, kind of like what Steve Kerr did in what he did in Golden State. You see what Atkinson is doing in Cleveland. He's able to unlock these guys. You see what JB Bickerstaff is doing in Detroit. He's able to unlock these guys to get them to the next level. Sometimes you're going to need a younger guy in there that can relate to these dudes and can unlock that hidden potential that's in these guys. Because listen, guys, let's be honest. How many more years do we think we got left with this squad? Cat's already running around with bad knees. So is Josh Hart. They're both 30 years old.
You hope a lot.
We got maybe, right? And we got maybe 3-4 years with these guys, that.
You hope it's a 3 or 4 year window. I mean, these guys are signed long term. Brunson, Cat's still owed a lot of freaking money. Kel is due for an extension. Look, Mikal has all the cards here, man. He's due for an extension. It's like you gotta either you're gonna trade him this summer or you're gonna pay him, because you don't give away that package for somebody and don't have a plan for him. So it's either you trade him for something, because I think, he's your biggest asset right now currently in terms of like contract wise, and because you're not gonna get rid of Brunson, you're not gonna get rid of Cat. You're not a Deuce. I guess you could throw him in there, Mitch. I mean, this is our guys, right. And I think,
but and if you trade him, what are you going to get back? That's at his caliber. Like what's out there, man, that you're going to be able to get back? Who's going to be? You understand what I'm saying? Like, because they're not going to trade Mikal and want to get back a role player. People are going to be like, yo, what are you doing that for? This guy's not even a starter. So whoever you're out there dealing, because this is. It's like the Wild West out there. So you got to go out there and make sure you got a package. Everybody wants to get someone like Herb Jones. Everybody wants to get somebody like Jaden McDaniel, right? These big wings that are athletic, that cost a lot of money. These guys are going to cost to get those guys. They're young, they're athletic dudes, and that's what you're going to need to get us over the mountaintop. We got a 3-4 year window. We're in a win now space. Win now. So if you just say Mikal, then what are we going to get back for him, everybody? So that's why I want to throw that out there for everybody to think. Or how OG Anunoby's playing right now, are you willing to give him up?
No.
If you give him up, what are you getting back, right? Like, are you going to get back Giannis? If you think they're just going to want Giannis and Mikal, OG and Mikal for Giannis.
There's other teams that have better packages than that.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to think it's not just you out there bidding. Like, so you got to really, really kind of look at the point that Ant just made, which I think is fabulous. Mikal holds all the cards here. So what are you going to do? This is the team going forward. They pushed all their chips to the center and said, this is everybody. This is the team. So what are we going to do? Tibbs has got to figure it out, man. If he can't, he's gone.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff, guys. Thibs, Mikal, after a great win. PJ Tucker just arrived. Everyone's happy. The bench mob, PJ Tucker cheering and everything. We still got a couple of games left for during this West Coast trip, but fascinating stuff. Fascinating conversation, LV. Once again, appreciate you for hopping in. Appreciate every single one of you guys for hopping in here, and enjoy the game. We got a game in 25 minutes. That's Blazers, right. Knicks, Mikal, 48 minutes. Get your ass out there. That's Tom Thibodeau's retribution.
That's right. That's right. Now, how much you want to bet? He gonna play like 47 minutes.
All right, you wanna play less? All right.
Right.
48 minutes on Mikal's card right here.
Right.
My goodness. All right, guys. Appreciate every single one of you tuning in. LV has a YouTube channel as well. We do podcasts and everything. Appreciate you, LV.
Of course, man. Always.
Enjoy the game. I'm Anthony. I'll catch you next time. Peace.